because the half-time whistle has gone in this all-Merseyside Wembley occasion. And Everton, having made the better chances probably, and certainly had more of the game territorially. And we will need to get the views of Jimmy Greaves and Ian St John in a moment with Jim Rosenthal, with a half-time score then here at Wembley. Everton 0, Liverpool 0.
All over Britain, thousands of people are training for the Olympics. Limbering up, preparing for the magic day when their brilliantly simple, new, sharp TV and video comes into its own. Bringing you every magic moment, every heartbreak, every triumph. The new sharp BC8381. It's so simple, it's brilliant. Sharp starter
A pipe is more a hobby than a habit. You need tools to keep the carbon down, to shift obstructions, and for general maintenance. A rack to keep them upright while they cool, and a good tobacco. Mine is mellow Virginia. It's not too mild or too harsh, but cool and satisfying. It brings out the best in any pipe. All in all, a lot less effort than gardening.
Aylthorpe working men's are up for Whitbread five-a-side trophy. So Bill Kirby's fielding a whole team of ringers. Aylthorpe kick off. Charlton, he skills to Hunt, knocks it forward, pair of scissors, and all ball gets the first. Aylthorpe again. Hunt, ball. Oh, MacDonald's there, 2 up. There's Wilson at nets, he's already got trophy. Ball, he's walking. Charlton, 3-0. Hunt, 4, 5, they're all over him. Oh, heck, penalty. Wilson's ready. He's like a coiled spring. Oh, yes, he's saved it. The title's Aylthorpe's. Now game's won, Bill Shaw's is better on pumps and players. Well, he's only happy holding trophy. Whitbread trophy best, head and body above the rest.
Bill is going salmon fishing. But he's not after any old salmon. He's after something that looks really appetizing and is deliciously tender. It's the fish John West reject that makes John West salmon the best.
Octopussy, the movie. Now on tape.
I'm Octopussy.
Octopussy at better video shops now. From Warner Home Video. Gripping stuff.
How do you improve on a good idea like contour tiling on a roll? There's a new adhesive to make it easier, brand new designs, and a really high gloss finish. But there's one thing about contour no one can improve on: the way it keeps its good looks.
Nothing looks quite the same as Kingfisher Contour.
Capture those memorable moments on Super Evelyn videotape from TDK, the great name in tape cassettes.
Welcome back live from Wembley. No goals at half-time in the 1984 Milk Cup final. Everton against Liverpool up in Scotland. It's Rangers 1, Celtic 0 at half-time. We'll show you the goal in just a few minutes' time. But first of all, let's get the half-time verdict from the two boys. Ian St John.
Smashing game, Jim. Great game. I'm delighted that Everton are playing so well, making a game of it. I think it's a great advert for soccer, and certainly Merseyside. But He's been shouting for Everton the whole 45 minutes.
Well, he's just been balancing
I'm
you up,
delighted
hasn't
it's a smashing game.
No, it is a great game.
It is a great game.
It's tremendous. It's nice to be sat next to you with you having kittens.
And Everton have had the best chances.
Well, let's get on and have a look at those, because several talking points, and in particularly early on, that penalty appeal that Liverpool seemed to have given away. What do you think here?
Well, Jimmy's got... Watch this, and he'll tell you what he thinks on this one.
Well, I think he's forever going to be known on Merseyside now as Henderson. He's the only man who's held the ball more times than Bruce Torvill in that first 45 minutes.
They're sending the ball up for forensic tests at half-time, Jim, for the fingerprints. But it looked there as if the ball was going in the net. Yeah.
It looked intentional to you, did it, that one?
The ball, if it'd been me, I'd have been claiming a penalty. Yeah, let's put it that way.
You see, David Armstrong, the Southampton player, made a point in the paper this morning. Liverpool will give you an early chance. If you don't score from it, you get punished.
Well,
yeah, well, they deserved... I mean, that should have been a penalty. Let's be fair about it. You can't argue about that, James.
Right, we won't argue about that. Let's have a look at another opportunity, then, that Everton had. It was Kevin Sheedy that was put well clear. And Ian St John, what did you feel the boy did here? Probably could have taken on a bit further.
I mean, they had Liverpool all at sea right through the middle here, and really nearly tried to foul on there, but what we thought he should have carried on, because Bruce stayed in his line. And if he'd have taken that on, I think he might have stuck it past him.
Actually, interesting point that Ian made there was that Bruce probably did the right thing. Normally he comes out, which would have made Sheedy's job easier, but he stayed on the line.
Brian Clough saying, Ian, how surprised he is that Liverpool are a little bit lethargic. Did you feel that?
Well, maybe they are lethargic, but give Everton a bit of credit, Jim, because they are playing I mean, they're playing football that I don't think anybody thought they could play here. I mean, they're stroking it around, they're dominating the game, and, I mean, they're really looking good.
But Liverpool seem to have eased their way back into things a little bit late on in this first half. It has been a very, very good first half, hasn't it, Jimmy? And I think we can have a look at Liverpool's best opening, which came from Ronnie Whelan, who makes a habit of scoring here in these Milk Cup finals or League Cup finals.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, Jim, and whilst we will say that we'll give Everton the edge over 45 minutes, Liverpool have certainly had their chances, and this was a very well-created chance, really. And Ronnie Whelan did very well, and so did the Everton defence. But Liverpool have had their moments. It really has been a great final so far.
Neville Southall's playing well for Everton, isn't he? You know, he's had 1 or 2 balls coming off the pitch very quickly, and he's made some terrific reflex saves.
OK, well, we've got a fascinating second half in prospect. We'll talk to the two lads at the end of it, and we'll be right back after this short break with the goals from that Scottish League Cup final, or the goal. We'll see you then.
To 60 in 8.5 seconds. An 1800 fuel-injected engine. 115 brake horsepower. Capable of 115 miles per hour. Astra GTE, built to make your heart beat faster.
Upon disaster at sea, quell any hysteria with a Falstaff cigar. Savor the rich tobaccos, firm packed in fine Connecticut leaf, thence to the lifeboats, observing the tradition of women and children first. Falstaff, correct for every occasion.
Could be great things happening at your Bass local.
It's Joe, isn't it? No, it's Frank.
Fancy dress nights, party nights, games nights.
Give him as usual.
Everyone's welcome at a Bass local.
You get the best names in food at permanently discounted prices at low cost. Tempting 4-pack of Mars bars, 53p at low cost. McVitie's chocolate home wheat, 45p at low cost. Thai food tea, 41p, and tea bags, 97p at low cost. Country Life Best Butter, 45p at low cost.
moving your business? Warrington Runcorn offers the best road, rail and air links in the country. Phone Warrington 33334 now. It's your move.
I'd like to tell you about a really different software magazine called Input. It's a weekly course that program by program will help you get the most from your computer. And it's designed specially for many of the leading computers. Input's clear instructions will have you creating your own animation and sound effects to go with it, and teaches you to understand machine code by using it practically and imaginatively. Oi, leave it out. Input. Learn to program for fun and the future.
John Spencer now having to cue over the green ball. And what a disastrous stroke. And the referee's none too pleased either. Well, that's most peculiar.
I bet he drinks Carling Black Label.
You ask. Uncompromising referees insist on a pint that's brewed to give a fuller flavour than any other leading lager.
Carling Black Label.
Welcome back to Wembley. We're going to go to Hampden Park now to see the goal in the first half there in the Scottish League Cup final. Rangers against Celtic, and your commentator is Jock Brown.
Russell again into the final minute of the first half. Might be some stoppage time, some injuries. Holding play up a couple of times. There's Davy Cooper. Russell has taken up good position. Stepping inside, Bonner McLeod, and a penalty kick has been given. A great opportunity for Rangers. Robert Pritz is a regular kicker, he's not in the field, but Ali McCoist will take it. He scored once already this season out of one attempt. McCoist against Bonner. Perfectly stopped away by Ali McCoist, and Rangers take the lead.
That was it at half-time there. Rangers 1, Celtic 0, as you can probably hear behind me. Both teams are out for the second half of this Milk Cup final. No goals here in the first half. All you Torvill and Dean fans, well, we'll be seeing their gold medal-winning performance in the World Championship at around about 4:45. That is providing, of course, there's no extra time here at Wembley. But now I'm going to return you to your commentary team, Brian Clough, the Nottingham Forest manager, and Brian Moore.
Thank you, Jim. Both sides are back. 0-0. And Jim was talking about extra time. It was so even, Stephen, in that first half, really, I suppose, that you've got to feel that that might be a possibility. And, of course, if it's level here at the end of that period of extra time, there's a replay at Main Road, Manchester on Wednesday. Well, Graham Souness knows that there's got to be a little more effort from the side in general. And the best chance, possibly, of the first half falling to young Kevin Sheedy. And the whistle has gone, and it's 0-0. And the teams will have to meet again at Main Road, Manchester on Wednesday evening. Always something of an anti-climax when a cup final finishes goalless, and it has to be replayed again. Southall, who made some remarkably good saves for Everton, and Everton, who certainly, in the first half at any rate, made the better chances, but defended well and resolutely throughout, particularly during a period in the second half when Liverpool looked as though they were going to get thoroughly on top. Craig Johnston goes off, thoroughly upset it would seem, unless he's carrying an injury, but Brian seemed to think not, as he goes off the field, a little upset with his Wembley appearance today when he was pulled off and substituted by Michael Robinson. The teams will go up, in fact, and be presented to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Andy Gray, who was ineligible for this game. On the right of the picture, the Everton striker, and the Everton players going up. Well, they battled well today.
A lot of credit to Everton today, Brian.
I think they will regard it as a moral victory. Their fans are certainly delighted, because they came with a little bit of apprehension in their hearts. They're taking on the mighty Liverpool side, European champions, league champions. So the fact that they've battled out 90 minutes plus extra time and still not conceded, and they will regard it as a brilliant result.
And nobody really played better for them than their captain, who gave a marvellous exhibition of defensive play.
Incredible match he's had. He's taken on the best striker in the country, and he kept him subdued for most of the game. And the other young centre-half played well also.
Derek Mountfield, yes indeed. Alan Harper goes through. John Bailey, who we saw, that's symbolic as well. He had a red Liverpool scarf and a blue one of Everton. Bailey, who made that marvellous challenge right at the end. And Liverpool, they've trodden this path so often, and probably will tread it many more times to come. In the light raincoat there, their chairman, John Smith, Kenny Dalglish, and Ronnie Whelan. And Howard Kendall. The first time ever the two managers have been up at the end of a Milk Cup final, also to get a word with the guest of honour. So don't forget, we've got Torvill and Dean yet to come. We've also got to get the views of Ian St John and Jimmy Greaves. And certainly it's been a marvellous Wembley occasion, and it's great to see both sides going off, and such good comradeship on the field of play. The two goalkeepers there, Southall and Grobbelaar, who both in their own rights made some really spectacular saves to make sure that the game finished goalless. Right, let's get some more skating and some more views with the score at the end of this Milk Cup final: Everton 0, Liverpool 0. A break coming up.
This is where all the engineering skills and advanced technology that go into building Austin Rover cars can be put to the ultimate test. But what happens before that test?
This is Austin Rover's Advanced Electro-Hydraulics Laboratory, and this Austin Maestro has already been through 40 hours of non-stop computer-controlled punishment.
This whole laboratory is dedicated to testing components right up to their limits.
And it's this kind of testing which gives Austin Rover the confidence to put their cars to the ultimate test.
Austin Rover. Driving is believing.
I wish I was in green or Whitley land, where beer is cool and hearts are warm. The girl I left behind, perhaps she's missing me as I'm missing her. The warmth, the fun, my friends, the games we used to play. But most of all, green or Whitley, most of all, I'm missing you. Someday I'm going back to the taste I know so well.
The first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. You created for the first time in all history a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Unification of the laws is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
1984. Apple is about to revolutionize the world of personal computers. See your Apple dealer. Discover why, for you, 1984 won't be like 1984.
This is a cigar called Hamlet. The mild cigar.
The new electronic tacker from Black & Decker.
Welcome back to Wembley. No goals after extra time in the Milk Cup final, but really Ian St John and Jimmy Greaves, a lovely atmosphere around here. Now the two teams walking off together. It's been a very friendly day all round, and Saint, not an anticlimax by any means.
Not by any means, Jim. I don't know what it was like for the uncommitted at home, but I'll tell you something, being from Liverpool, living in Liverpool, I'm sure everybody from Merseyside, you know, must have been sitting on the edge of their seats, either here or at home watching. I thought it was a smashing game.
Jimmy Greaves, your verdict?
Yes, great game, Jim. I think it would have been a tragedy if somebody had lost on this occasion. At least both sides can go away saying that they've actually played a final at Wembley and not lost.
Yeah, well, having been up there on Merseyside in the week, I think probably this result was the best thing that could have happened here, perhaps.
Most certainly, yeah.
I think we can take
and
a look.
it also keeps us in work on Wednesday as well.
That is very true. That is
well
very
done,
true.
lads.
Now, that, of course, the replay you can see only on ITV, but we're going to have another look at probably the save of the afternoon. Neville Southall making an absolutely superb save from Ian Rush.
Well, Ian Rush had 2 or 3 efforts in the game today, but this one, late on in the game, Jim, was a real cracker. You know, he really caught that one, volleyed it clean as a whistle, and how the goalkeeper, you know, dived to the side. His reflexes were brilliant all day. Super save. I mean, we were saying if Russia had maybe kicked it, he would probably have scored, but, you know, their goalkeeper, Neville Southall, today was absolutely brilliant.
Jimmy, I must admit, I jotted them down here, and I counted 6 really clear chances for Everton. It's difficult now, but amid all their enthusiasm, do you think they might have missed their opportunity in this cup final?
Yes, it is possible. One always looks at the underdogs, which Everton are, let's face it, and say this is their day. Second time round, as we saw last year with Manchester United and Brighton, second time round, the big act normally gets it together. But we'll see.
Saint, what do you feel about that?
Well, you know, I'm just delighted that everybody's come away from here, you know, feeling great about it, Jim. The fans have loved it. The teams have played out their skins, and I don't think anybody had a bad game. I'm disappointed in Craig Johnson, by the way, walking off at the end, because the game is bigger than any individual, and he's walked off. He played his part 90 minutes, and he's saying that Joe Fagan has made a wrong decision. I think that's terrible. He should have joined in with the rest of the boys.
Well, knowing the Liverpool setup backwards as you do you think Craig Johnson might face some sort of disciplinary action for that?
No, I think that everybody will just say, well, you know, we're so disappointed that any player could ever do that to his teammates, walk off the field. Did what Ricky Villa did here, didn't he, Jim, for Tottenham?
Yeah. Just looking through the game and looking at the way Liverpool came strong, I mean, what do you think that Liverpool are going to learn from this?
Well, one thing they have learned from this is that Everton are now a far better team, Jim, than they were at the start of the season. They're a useful side now. I didn't think they could play as well as they did today. I thought Liverpool's strength late on in the game was beginning to tell. But then Everton came again in extra time and almost nicked it. So I think what Liverpool have learned is a lot of respect for Everton today.
OK, I think we can now go to Martin Tyler and find out some of the players' reactions.
Alan Hansen, 2 hours of breathtaking football, but can I take you back to the 7th minute? I think the main talking point from this Milk Cup final, and an incident where it certainly looked to all of us that you handled.
Well, I definitely didn't put my hand up intentionally. I think what I can remember about it is it hit my knee, and then maybe come up to my hand, but it was never intentional. As you can see, I mean, the ball definitely hits my knee first and then onto my arm. I mean, you know, the arm didn't go up intentionally to play it. Possibly a piece of bad control, if you like, but it was never intentional. And I suppose some referees would have gave a penalty, but you know, like I say, it was never intentional, and it hit my knee and come up to my arm.
What was your first reaction? Did you look towards the referee?
No, I just cleared the thing. I made sure I got it away somewhere. I think it was into the stand somewhere, and all the Everton players went to the referee. But, you know, I thought it was 50-50, and, you know, that's the way it goes.
Generally, from the point of view of the whole game, Everton obviously made you work very hard indeed.
I think they played exceptionally well in the first half, and we had the second half, but I think if you go on chances, we possibly had one or two more than they did, and I think possibly their goalkeeper kept them in it.
Alan, thanks very much indeed. A word now with Neville Southall. Neville, first of all, I know you were a long way from the episode, but what were your teammates saying about that handball?
Well, they said it was a penalty, but you can't tell from the other end, you know, they all ran towards it, but it doesn't really matter now, does it?
And no question amongst your Everton colleagues who were nearer the incident who thought that it was a penalty.
Yeah, you just got to get on with it, haven't you? I mean, he doesn't give a penalty, so you just get on with it.
Well, you certainly got on with it, and perhaps the best moment for you in the 93rd minute, 3 minutes into extra time, and your Welsh teammate Ian Rush hit a volley. What do you remember about that save?
Not a lot, really. It's just a reaction save. He hit it. I don't think he hit it as well as he should have, really. If he'd placed it, I think it would have been better.
They seemed to hit it pretty well.
It was too close to me, though, wasn't it? He went for the corner, did he?
Did you see it coming all the way, or was it just an instinctive paw at it?
Save, really. Yeah. We'll do quite a lot of them.
What are your thoughts about the replay now, Noel?
Well, if it's as good as game as that, I'll be well happy.
I'm sure we all will. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, no goals here this afternoon, particularly because of that fella Neville Southall, but they've had goals, goodness me, in the Scottish League Cup final at Hampden Park. Rangers against Celtic, the tie there this afternoon. Your commentator is Jock Brown.
Now Russell again into the final minute of the first half. Might be some stoppage time, some injuries. Holding play up a couple of times with Davy Cooper. Russell has taken up good position. Stepping inside, Buddy McLeod, and a penalty kick has been given. A great opportunity for Rangers. Clement Pritz is a regular kicker, he's not in the field, but Ali McCoist will take it. He scored once already this season out of one attempt. McCoist against Bonner. Perfectly stopped away by Ali McCoist, and Rangers take the lead.
I think the time now, really, Jock, is for Celtic to be a bit more committed. They're losing a final. They've got to be reminded of that. I would really push Tommy Burns away into a wide role. Try to stretch him, to have him running at Jimmy Nicholl. See if he can create something there. See if he can disturb him.
So 15 minutes of the second half gone. Is this the second for Rangers? Yes! Sally McCoist has done it. So Burns over the ball. McLeod is waiting. Find the clear! The set piece brings Celtic back into the game. Celtic pressing forward again. Can they finish the first half in the same fashion as Rangers finished the second half, rather the same way? And the challenge coming into the back. The penalty kick has been given. And yes, drama again at the end of the second half. So the referee Bob Valentine sorting things out. Mark Reed will take the kick. He scored 4 out of 4 this season so far. That makes it 5. And Celtic have tied it up at 2 apiece. That'll be a penalty, yes. Aiken penalised for that. McCoist facing Pat Bonner with a kick which could win the League Cup for Rangers. He made it at the second attempt.
Well, then Ali McCoist, very much the toast of Rangers tonight. Billy McNeil was the co-commentator there with Jock Brown. Boys, what about that one?
They do like a penalty, don't they?
Not bad, was it?
I mean, that must have been a very, very exciting game, you know, 5 goals, terrific. But I must say, we had a great game here, no goals, still football, isn't it?
Of course it is. Any comment on 1 and 2 of those penalties, and possibly a bit of the goalkeeping up there, Jimmy?
Well, it's no more than you would expect from Scottish football, Jim, isn't it? Really, as simple as that.
Don't talk about the Scottish referees, by the way.
I'm not talking about. I'm a bit worried about the one we had out there today on that decision.
Well, the Hanson.
Yeah.
The Hanson.
The Hanson. But nevertheless, we live to fight another day, don't we, all of us?
Ian and Jimmy, thanks very much. Coming up for you, finally, it's going to be Torvill and Dean.
Have you heard about this really different software magazine called Input? It's a weekly course that program by program will help you get the most from your computer, and it's designed specially for many of the leading computers. Input's clear instructions will show you how to use a simple 4-next loop to create clever routines, and week by week will improve your programming skills so you can use your computer both practically and imaginatively. Oh, very clever. Input. Learn to program for fun and the future.
There's a world of
TV, lots of video to see at Granada.
Halve recording costs with Granada. Double-time video which gives 6 hours viewing on a 3-hour tape. Free membership video club. TVs, some with teletext and stereo capability.
With no rentals too, there's a package for you at Granada.
Have a free home trial.
Your choice is so wide and fast service outright at Granada.
Wide choice, low rentals. That's Granada.
G'day. This reminds me of the days we spent chasing packs of wild dingoes through the scrub. 6 hours in the saddle without a drink. Wouldn't have been possible without the ace drop of Foster's at the end of it. I'm glad to see that now you've got Foster's draft over here, you're taking an interest in other fair dinkum Aussie activities. But it won't take long to catch that pack of funny-looking dingoes.
Foster's, the Australian for lager.
When you need a little lift, but you just can't take a break, chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a little lift in everything you do. That good, smooth chewing, that crisp, clean taste. That Wrigley's Spearmint pickup is going for you.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you buzzing. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you buzzing along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you buzzing. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you buzzing.
And all because the lady loves milk tray.
We try to give you the one you want. We're gonna get you on your way. These are the things we do, so we'll see you again.
If you want service in van and car hire locally, one company stands out. Mitchell Self-Drive, on the back of Yellow Pages.
People, Mitchell. When people come first, people, Mitchell. When people come first.
If you think all varnishes are the same, then you've never used Ronseal. Ronseal is the best-selling varnish, and it contains 4 special ingredients that blend into one of the world's toughest resins. Watch this test. Ronseal gives wood a beautiful protection that lasts for years, and you can't knock that. And I'll tell you something else about Ronseal. You can't mark it either, can you, Bob? Ronseal. Don't confuse it with ordinary varnishes.
And welcome back to Wembley. The Milk Cup final here has ended in a goalless draw after extra time. Liverpool against Everton. The replay is going to be on Wednesday at Main Road. But in Scotland, Rangers have beaten Celtic by 3-2 with Nally McCoy's hat-trick to win the League Cup there. But now we're going to turn to ice dancing, and in particular to Torvill and Dean's attempt to win the World Championship for the 4th successive time. As I'm sure all of you will know, who tuned into ITV around about 9:15 last night, they had major problems over there in Ottawa with an electrical failure. The whole event was delayed. Torvill and Dean put on ice, as it were, for several hours until the early hours of this morning. It was just before 5 o'clock that Torvill and Dean took to the ice. And your commentator now is Simon Reed.
But now the moment the 10,000 people here have waited for. In Ottawa, it's 5-11. I know it's nearly 5 o'clock with you. Jane and Chris take the ice, watched by their parents. And here they go for their 4th consecutive gold medal.
A sneak of a smile from Jane as she looks up, because as she looks up, she sees the crowd as one rise to its feet. The parents in the middle there, but there are 10,000 parents here. A marvellous moment. The Canadians are fervently patriotic. They gave Underhill and Martini an amazing reception on Thursday, but this is matching it. A performance of utter precision. The commentators in the background, CBS and Canadians, applauding, and there's one person completely unmoved, Betty Calloway. Chris and Jane just look mildly pleased with it all. But a very fond hug as they leave the ice in a major competition for the last time. But the sadness is to come. Let's now appreciate this marvellous performance. Look at the strength of that lift, perfectly executed. And there again, the lines absolutely straight. It's athletic, balletic, just simply superb. And Karen and Nicky helping them to collect the bouquet. The lovely moment there as they embrace how difficult it'll be for them to skate after Chris and Jane. And we've almost forgotten that they've got to be marked. But we mustn't forget, because they've got 16 perfect sixes so far in this competition. The world record is 19 at the Olympics, so they only need another 3 more sixes. The first line then for technical merit. And we've got some more. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sixes for technical merit. 5 5.9s. Already it's a new world record. Sixes from Hungary, from Italy, from Britain and from Japan. And now for artistic impression. There can only be one mark, can't there? And there is. The parents are thrilled, everyone's thrilled. It couldn't be anything else. And a wave, and a hug, and a kiss on the cheek from Chris to Jane. A perfect row of sixes. They've graced the sport so completely in the last 4 years, and they leave it right at the very top.
Well, many congratulations, Jane and Chris. Just what are your feelings at the moment?
I don't know, we're a bit nonplussed at the moment. The audience were fantastic all the way around, and it was just a nice finish to it all here.
Yes, when you say a finish to it here, it's 6 years now, isn't it? 6 years ago you took part in your first World Championship.
We started here and we finished here, so it's sort of full circle. It seems like yesterday, though.
I noticed, Jane, that when you actually rested on the ice at the end there, you held your position and then you allowed yourself a little satisfied smile.
Well, it just seemed like, it was the end of a long week and, that was it, and we'd done it. And I was just happy at that moment.
All your knowledgeable admirers, and certainly your coach Betty has been saying that you have never skated as well. Do you feel that way yourself, Chris?
This championships, I would say, has been almost relaxed from inside. Whether the outward sort of expression that we've given is that way, but from inside we felt much more relaxed, as if it was sort of, I don't know, we'd done it all already, and we could enjoy this one, our last one, and we really did enjoy it.
The competition organizer, Jean McClelland, has the duty, and what a marvellous duty it is too. Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean, the king and queen of ice dance, get a fitting reward. In 81 it was Hartford, Connecticut. In 82 Copenhagen, 83 Helsinki, and 84 it's Ottawa. World champions for the 4th consecutive time.
Yes, there's nothing left really for those two to achieve in the amateur world. Torvill and Dean, 29 perfect sixes then, an absolutely magnificent achievement for those two. There's more Torvill and Dean on Channel 4 tonight at 10:20. And just to confirm that Besteminyova and Buchin took the silver, and the Americans Bloomberg and Siebert got the bronze over there in Ottawa. Up in Scotland, the League Cup final there, Rangers 3, Celtic 2, lots of penalties flying around, and Ali McCoist with a hat-trick for Rangers reversed last season's result. Well, here, the match that emptied Merseyside, Liverpool against Everton, the All-Merseyside Milk Cup final. They're going to have to do it all again at Main Road on Wednesday, and that's a match you can see exclusively with us here on ITV. No goals, but we really had an excellent final here. The players tried hard enough to provide the goals, just couldn't do it. From us all, a very good afternoon to you all.
Up everywhere at the start of this second half is Souness, such an influential player for Liverpool, but now it's Kennedy. All the way, Kennedy! And just wide! So Liverpool's corner. Dalglish with it. Oh, Kennedy, and they haven't picked him up again! And my word, how did that stay out? Bailey played forward for Heath, and again he wins it in the air. Can Sharp get on his way now? Just wide! Neil. Oh, tremendous save, and Robinson almost got to it, but Rush hit a glorious shot there, and Southall made the save of the day. Well, certainly Wembley Cup finals and Milk Cup finals, FA Cup finals, there is a history of extra time being played of late, I must say. No surprise. But will we get a replay? Harper with the cross. Sharp nodding it back down. And can they put it in there? Oh, my word! Phil Neal.
Well, due to that extended sports coverage, Cartoon Time and Bullseye this week have been postponed. Jim Bowen and Bullseye next Sunday at the earlier time of 10 to 5.
Ah, hello, discerning television viewers everywhere. Roland Red Superstar here, with some very good news about the forthcoming week on Children's ITV. Things begin on Monday at 4 o'clock, when you can see me. And I'll be on again at 4:10 and 4:15 and 20 past, then again at 5:25, and I'll be on at 5:20 and at 5 o'clock, and